Welcome to another challenging approach episode. Today's approach is into Hong Kong's Kai Tak International Airport. Formerly closed in 1998, it is known as one of the most challenging approaches by pilots and often feared by passengers. The approach takes you low over the centre of Hong Kong and through one of the most densely populated regions on Earth. Due to the terrain, the approach into runway 13 requires a very late 48-degree turn over the city before lining up with the runway. The subtropical climate is also known for throwing in rain, thunderstorms and crosswind. Kai Tak has an instrument guidance system, or IGS, that guides pilots to the checkerboard, much like an ILS, before pilots take over and hand fly the aircraft down visually onto the runway. In this video, we're not making things easy. We have a 25-knot crosswind from the southwest, which means much higher speed and descent rate down the approach and a tighter turn to compensate for the wind. Without further ado, let's jump into the cockpit. Alright, a very warm welcome to the flight deck of the 737 as we make the approach into the infamous IGS runway 13 for Hong Kong International Kai Tak Airport. So we are approaching our first fix of Chong Chau at 8,000. Our next should be 6,000, so I'm going to reset that so that the FMC is happy with me. I'm going to go ahead and go with the approach checklist. So the altimeter is checked and verified as 1013. The localizer frequency will set to 111.9 on both. We have the auto brake set for 2 for today's landing. We have assumed standing water. There is some scattered showers around the area, so put that in as conservative, but auto brake 2 should give us enough. We are expecting a fairly heavy crosswind out to the right when we line up the final with the runway, which will make the turn very challenging to make, so we're going to try and initiate the turn a little bit earlier than we otherwise would, just because of that extra wind as well. Going on to the legs page, we can see Chong Chau we're looking at 8,000, Golf we'll look at intercepting it at 6,000. Then we'll fly over the current operating international airport for Hong Kong before we will line up and arm the localizer coming down to the IGS approach for runway 13. Actually going to go ahead and looking at the charts, look like we have a speed restriction of 180, so I'm going to go ahead and update that into the FMC. So after Golf we're going to be making a further descent to 4,500, so I'm going to go ahead and put that into the MCP altitude there, which at Delta 15 is 4,500, so verified in the legs page as well. So you can see there is a slight, I guess not the best of visibility, but not the worst either. So the minimums for today, I've conservatively opted for the localizer only minimums, which is published at 680 barometric altitude. However, we are going to be looking for a IGS, which includes a glide path as well, which actually has a minimums of 675. So I'm going to go ahead and initiate flaps 1. Speed is checked. Bring down to flaps 1. We want to go 180 for that turn. Might just miss it, but that will be okay. I'm going to actually go flaps 2 as well, just so we can get the speed below 180. And starting that turn at 180, perfect. So we're going to look at getting the localizer armed, probably at the location of Delta 15, and then we'll look to capture the glide path for the IGS approach. We'd like to have flaps 5 out by 10 nautical miles. By 5, we're looking to have the flick and figured going through the landing checklist. Might actually do it a little bit earlier, just because a lot of things are going to happen very quickly. That'll include also disengaging, I guess, the frequency so that we don't have the warnings of glide path as we make the turn away from the IGS approach. It's nice we have a little rainbow here. Hopefully that's good luck for for making it down all right. And we can see the indication of glide path here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and first arm the VOR localizer. We'll aim to intercept the glide path at 4,500 feet. So capture the localizer now. Initiating that turn. You see the glide path is still above us, so I'm going to keep it at 4,500. I'm going to arm the approach mode, and that'll bring us down towards the runway. Looks like we've got possibly some rain ahead of us, which should make things interesting. I'm going to go ahead and arm the approach mode. So glide slope is armed. Missed approach altitude is 4,500, so I won't need to reset that once we capture that. There we go, glide slope is armed. I'm going to go ahead and select flaps 5. I'm going to go ahead and bring the gear down a little bit earlier just to help us slow down, because we've got a bit of a tailwind. Looks like we're struggling to get down at flaps 5 speed. That should help us slow down a little bit quicker. So coming close to 5 nautical miles, I will look to bring the aircraft fully configured and run through the landing checklist, just because a lot of things are going to happen very quickly. I'm going to do this a little bit earlier than I otherwise would. So I'm going to go ahead and select flaps 30. Flaps 30 is set. And I'm actually going to go ahead and disarm the auto throttle.
2,500.
And bring that in manually. Right, now that we're fully configured, we're going to run through the landing checklist. So the go around altitude is set at 4,500. Runway turn off lights will set as on. May as well put the taxi lights on. Engine starter switches to continuous, and we'll arm the speed brake as well. Speed brake is armed. Landing checklist complete. Looking good. Looks like potentially a bit of rain ahead of us. Otherwise, a nice double rainbow, funnily enough. Was not expecting that at all. Getting very close. There's Checkerboard Hill off to the left. I can see the runway. Okay. Just gonna add a little bit more speed.
1,000.
Checked. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and probably should have disengaged the autopilot first there, but that's fine. I have control. Now flying visually.
Approaching minimums.
A little bit high.
Minimums.
Continue.
Caution, terrain.
Checked. Starting that
Caution,
turn.
terrain. Caution, terrain.
Watch our bank angle as well. So the wind is off to our right, so we're probably
Sink
going to
rate.
overshoot it a little bit.
Sink rate.
Checked. See that crosswind coming out. Side there. Coming down. Heading for that touchdown zone.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Okay, landing. Strong crosswind, going to bring the rudder back in there. Speed brakes arm. versus green and decel. Alright, very good. Welcome to Kai-Tak. I hope you enjoyed that landing. Bit of a crosswind, so it definitely made one of the more challenging approaches, I would definitely say, in Flight Simulator. So, for the first few times of using, I guess, going on this approach, it did take a few attempts to actually get the approach right. So, it's certainly one of the harder ones. I definitely recommend giving it a try out if you are well trained in or well experienced in flying an aircraft like this. Beautiful Pmdg 737. I have a few more episodes for this challenging approach series. This is the first one of kind of what I would classify as one of the famous challenging approaches. So go ahead and check out any of the other challenging approaches. I hope you enjoyed the video and hope to see you in the next one. Thanks.